Okay, let's get right into this deep dive. We're looking at 1 John chapter 5 today.
Great chapter. Lots packed in there.
Definitely. Our goal is really to unpack the main ideas, see how things like belief and love and overcoming the world, eternal life, how they all connect here.
Yeah, how this writer sees them woven together. It's about what a life rooted in faith actually looks like, according to this specific text.
So right off the bat, it connects believing Jesus is the Christ with being born of God.
Exactly. That's the starting point. And this new identity, being born of God, it immediately leads to love.
Loving God naturally, but also loving God's children, other believers.
Right. And it says this love isn't just, a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's demonstrated
How so?
by obeying God's commands. And then there's that line that his commands are not burdensome.
Yeah, that's interesting. It suggests obedience flows naturally from this new identity. It's not a heavyweight.
Precisely. And this born of God status is not just relational. It's about, well, power,
Power. How do you mean?
empowerment. The text says, everyone born of God overcomes the world. Straight up.
Overcomes the world, and how it says our faith is the victory.
Yes, our faith. It then asks us that rhetorical question, right? Who is it that overcomes the world?
And the answer is just as direct. Only he who believes that Jesus is the Son of God.
So it really grounds this victory, this overcoming in that core belief. It's not about some elite status. It's a consequence of faith in Jesus.
Okay, then it shifts a bit to testimony, grounding the belief itself.
Right, the three that testify. The Spirit, the water, and the blood. And crucially, they are in agreement.
It's like presenting converging lines of evidence about Jesus.
Exactly. And then it contrasts that with human testimony. We accept human testimony all the time, right?
Sure.
Well, the argument is God's testimony about his son is far greater. We should definitely accept that.
And what happens if you do? If you believe.
Then you have this testimony in his heart. It becomes internal, a personal conviction.
But the alternative is pretty stark.
Very stark. If you don't believe God, the letter says you're essentially calling God a liar.
Wow. And the core of God's testimony, the thing you're believing or disbelieving, is what?
It's this. God has given us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. That's the absolute center.
And it draws a very clear line.
A clear distinction, yeah. He who has the Son has life. He who does not have the Son of God does not have life. Simple as that, according to the text.
And the author even says why he's writing this part.
So that you may know that you have eternal life, if you believe. It's about giving assurance, confidence to you, the believer.
And that confidence, that assurance, seems to spill over into prayer.
It does. It talks about the confidence we have in approaching God.
Based on what?
Based on asking according to his will. If we do that, he hears us.
And if he hears us,
then we know we have what we asked of him. It connects praying in alignment with God's will to the certainty of being heard and answered.
Okay, now the verses on sin, it can be a bit tricky. It distinguishes between types of sin.
Yes, between sin that does not lead to death and a sin that leads to death, we're told to pray for someone caught in the first kind.
But not for the second kind, the sin that leads to death. What exactly is that sin?
Well, that's debated. Maybe final rejection of Christ, something specific back then. The text doesn't spell it out clearly for us now, but it maintains the distinction.
But despite that difficulty, there's a broader assurance about sin for those born of God, right?
Oh, absolutely. A strong assurance. He says, anyone born of God does not continue to sin. Not perfection, but a changed orientation away from sin.
And protection, too.
Yes. The one who is born of God keeps him safe, and the evil one cannot harm him. Real divine protection.
Which is needed because it contrasts the believer's position with
the whole world, which it says is under the control of the evil one. So believers are safe within this hostile environment.
And it circles back to knowing God, doesn't it?
It does. It affirms the Son of God has come and has given us understanding so that we may know him who is true.
And identifies the true one explicitly.
As Jesus Christ. He is the true God and eternal life. It ties it all back together. Life and truth are found in him.
And the final word, a direct command.
Simple but profound. Dear children, keep yourselves from idols.
In the context of everything else, idols seem like anything that might compete with that core reliance on the true God revealed in Jesus.
Exactly. Anything that pulls you away from that life-giving connection. So, looking back at the chapter, belief leads to being born of God, which means love through obedience, which gives faith to overcome the world.
And this is all grounded in God's testimony about his Son, who is eternal life. This gives you confidence,
A
protection.
whole framework for living within the world but not being of it, you could say.
So here's a final thought for you to consider. If this chapter hinges so much on being born of God through faith as the key to love, victory, life, confidence, and protection, what does that suggest is the single most vital thing for navigating the world, as 1 John 5 describes it?